Kamusta? That's Tagalog, and I'm greeting you today from the Philippines. I'm told there are more than 7,000 islands here, but despite its tropical island beauty, the Philippines can be a dark place for children born into poor families. The poverty here creates a cycle that's very different from the United States. People stream into the big cities looking for opportunities, but when they can't find work, they send their children to the streets to beg or sell wares. Parents know it's hard for tourists to resist these cute little faces, but you can't blame the parents. They're doing what they know just to survive. But that's the problem here, the mentality of surviving instead of thriving. When Orphan's Promise steps in, our goal is to help each child recognize their potential. I've seen that happening this week as I visited Orphan's Promise projects throughout the Philippines. I met Jason, a 17-year-old orphan who lived on the streets after his parents died. Today, Jason lives in a really great boys' home where he's rapidly advanced from preschool to second grade, and his dream is to be a lawyer. At the same wonderful facility, we found Raymond, a little shy at first, but he warmed up to me with his great smile. Apparently, when he was young, his abusive father broke his jaw. Today, he says he feels safe here. I told him we'd work with a doctor to repair his jaw. Raymond wants to be a computer programmer. I traveled to a shelter where I met several young girls who'd been rescued from sexual abuse. In fact, one 13-year-old girl had only been there 10 days. As I spoke with her, the tears welled up in her eyes, and it broke my heart to see such pain. But I was thankful she was in good hands with a loving house mother, some Christian counseling, and the support of the other girls. A trip to the mountains brought us to an Orphan's Promise medical mission where we found families who had never seen a doctor. This area ranks second in malnutrition in all of the Philippines. In fact, while we were here, we learned of a mom nearby whose 1-year-old twins had died due to malnourishment. Thankfully, that will not be the case with this little boy named Robinson. He was diagnosed with tuberculosis, which is a common result of malnourishment. The medicine he receives at our clinic will help him gain weight. Orphan's Promise will continue feeding nearly 1,000 children daily in this region. This is our first outreach in this indigenous community where we plan extensive outreaches for their families, including parenting classes with a spiritual element and farming instruction to yield larger crops for these families. This will be especially helpful for a family of 16 children who live nearby. One of the youngest is Joy. She was born with a cleft palate and a cleft lip. The doctor reports that after just 3 weeks on our feeding program, Joy is now nourished enough to undergo surgery. We're excited to be able to repair her smile. Of course, there are plenty of needy children here at Payatas Dump. But a new trend is alarming that started here. There's so much competition to get the best of the trash that young boys run alongside the dump trucks and actually jump into the garbage so they can search for the best trash. We're starting an outreach to these jumper boys and their families, and I look forward to sharing some great results from this outreach with you soon. Everywhere I turn, I see that the need is so great, but I am so thankful for the lives that you and I are touching here. I hope you've been inspired by this report from the Philippines. We found it takes so little to make a difference in a person's life.